Oh, no, you should
Because I'm
not.
gonna go
Is
back.
that like an awesome house or what?
Okay, so you don't have very
You know,
much
his
of
square
your
footage
food
of
stuff
his
to be chef on what you were painting at.
But I know the garage is 8,000.
Oh, I
We didn't
thought
get
you,
through it. We
You're
only got halfway
making
through.
that.
that's what I mean. So
8,000
you're
square
gonna
feet
finish up the
garage.
second half, is that what you're gonna do? Why, you're not gonna do it?
I'd like to call the Maumelle City Council meeting to order. First, I need to let you know that Council Member Anderson will not be here tonight. He is currently in the hospital, so I think that's a valid excuse. I don't know that that's what I'd pick for my excuse, but that's he can do that. And then Councilmember Saunders contacted me late this afternoon, and he was tied up in an appointment, and it was taking longer than he thought, so he's not going to be able to be here tonight. But the next order of business, the invocation and pledge of allegiance, and Councilmember Vaperzan is going to lead us in that tonight.
Heavenly Father, we love you. Thank you for a beautiful day here in Maumelle, and we thank you for all that you have provided for us. Lord, our hearts are with so many this evening. We think of Councilmember Anderson as he lays in the hospital bed up at Baptist, and with the news that they've received recently, and we're thankful that he'll be treated and he'll be all right. But I pray that you bless he and Kim and the kids as they go through this time of difficulty. We also think of everything from the fires in the West Coast to those in Vegas to those in the southern regions, from natural disasters. It's just been amazing these last weeks and months to see how many people in our nation have been affected in so many adverse ways. And it just gives us cause, Lord, to make sure, because we don't know what's going to happen in the next few minutes, that we're secure in you. And Lord, I'm thankful that you have watched care over us. I pray that you bless what we do here in these chambers this evening, that it would honor you. Bless our leadership. We pray for wisdom and all that we say and do. And we'll thank you for it in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We have no special guests and announcements tonight. Next item is the approval of the minutes of the October 2nd regular meeting. All the council members have a copy of those minutes in their packet. Are there any corrections or additions?
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Councilmember Mosley?
Yeah, on the minutes there, I was just reviewing them, and I had asked Attorney Norris for clarification on the Bryant case. And I realized that was a code enforcement case in our own district court, but it had been appealed, as I understand it, to circuit court, and I was just wondering if the city clerk would mind just going ahead and putting in there that how that court case came out. I think he was found not guilty in circuit court. Just add that. Would that be a problem?
No, it wouldn't be a problem. I just quoted the city attorney when he said there was no litigation. So
Right.
that's what I put, no litigation. But I'll be happy to add it.
Okay, I appreciate that, and I'd so move that we make that correction.
Okay. Guess the motion is to approve it as is. Will you second
Yes.
it, or make it to
With the amendment.
with the amendment and then the second?
Yes, sir.
Seconded, yes.
Okay, all right. We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as amended. Is there any discussion on that motion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item is public comment, and I have no public comment cards either on the agenda or not on the agenda tonight. So we'll move on to the next item, which is the financial statement review. And Ms. Vega is here tonight to give you the financials. You also have a copy of them in your packet, and you were handed out an updated one, I believe, at your desk today, so one was passed out. Ms. Vega?
Good evening. The reason we passed out a second packet is because we've made adjustments throughout the audit, and my 2016 numbers have changed since the financials of last year were issued, and so I wanted to make that correction so that we're on the right path. Okay. So our financials look better this month. We're just right there, right at budget. And the fund, the yellow is, okay, first of all, I revised all these charts because somebody didn't like the colors, and I didn't really like the colors either, and I didn't like that the charts were all different charts, and so I standardized it to make it easier for all of us to understand. So the yellow is the minimum of cash that we need to have on hand, and as you can see, we've got 5.5 million, and so we're covered, well covered. Okay. All right, this is the general fund showing the majority of the revenue sources. We're pretty flat in all our areas. The ones that are different is the city sales tax, and remember that was a special audit that was done on somebody, and they had to pay more in taxes, and so we benefited from that. The next slide. This is a street fund. Under street aid, we're actually up $46,000 over prior year. That's in the red here. And we are up $28,000 over our budget. On the county mill tax, we're $54,000 below budget, but we're flat to last year. Sanitation, as you can see, we're flat all the way across. We're a little above budget, a little below last year, but those variances are like $2,000. On expenses, that's the wrong slide. Sorry. No. Okay, let's go to the next one. On the general expenses, we're up. The police expenses are up 5% over prior year. They're 9% below budget. The fire department, they are 11% below budget in their spending and up 18% to prior year. City services, they're below prior year, and that's the escrow for the third entrance that's causing that variance. Okay, on this slide, this is our budget overall, and we should be at 75% of our budget at September, and everybody's below that, so that's good. On the street fund expenditures, that the third entrance under other operating expenses, the third entrance is that amount, is what's shooting that up. We will be reimbursed. We're waiting for 2 more reimbursements. We did get $124,000 reimbursement that's not reflected because it came in October. So it'll be on next financials. And hopefully those other 2 will be as well. Sanitation expenses, under personnel, we're 9% below budget. We're up 6% over prior year. Other operating expenses, we're 49% below budget, and what that equates to is material and supply. We're $100,000 below budget on that line item, materials and supply. And vehicle maintenance, we're $50,000 below what we had budgeted, and contractual services is $25,000 below what we had budgeted on that line item. So that's $175,000 that wasn't spent but was budgeted for. And then we're up 9% in our spending and other operating expenses. Does anybody have any questions?
Councilmember Mosley?
Yeah, I'd like to go back to the street fund there real quick. You were talking about the third entrance, and what do you mean by the third entrance? What are we?
The Count Macy, the Counts Massey
Extension?
extension,
No.
yes.
No,
No?
it's the interchange design.
Interchange
It's the
design?
design fees for the
Yes.
interchange itself,
Yes.
which is not the Council Mass extension.
Okay, yeah, that'll be reimbursed.
80% is reimbursed by the state.
Okay,
Yes.
so we'll get
So,
reimbursed.
so basically, we have to pay the money. We have to wait till we get a canceled check. Then we apply to the state to reimburse that money. So we lag like 6 weeks behind once we pay it until we collect it.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Motion to approve the financials for September.
We have motion and second to approve the financials. Is there a discussion on that motion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, say no. Motion passes. Next item is a procedural motion. I need a motion from the floor to read all resolutions and ordinances by title only.
Second.
We have motion and second to read all resolutions and ordinances by title only tonight. Is there any discussion on that motion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, say no. Motion passes. Next item is the unfinished business. We have the third reading of ordinance number 943, amending the Maumelle City Code. Madam City Clerk, if you'd read that by title only, please.
Be it enacted an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Maumelle, County of Pulaski, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled Ordinance Number 943, an ordinance amending the City of Maumelle City Code to limit the fee charged for repair or remodel building permits.
Okay, this is on third reading, so a motion is in order, but it's to have, if someone does a remodel, that it will not exceed the construction cost of, or the remodel, or it would not exceed the building permit cost for the entire building itself.
Motion to approve ordinance 943.
We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 943. Is there any discussion on that motion? If not, Madam City Clerk, roll call vote.
Councilmember Holt,
Yes.
Councilmember Vapurzian, Councilmember Timmons, Councilmember Williams, Councilmember Kelly,
Yes.
Councilmember Mosley.
Yes.
Motion passes with 2 absent. Next item is under new business. We have resolution number 2017-24 regarding surplus property. Madam City Clerk, if you'd read that by title only.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Maumelle, Pulaski County, Arkansas, Resolution 2017-24, a resolution to approve the disposal of city surplus property.
Okay, this is a Mack rear-loading sanitation truck. It was purchased when we got into the business of doing our own solid waste collection. So it was purchased in 2002. So it's been one that's been around for a while, and it needs to be put out to pasture. Sorry, that's about the best I can tell you. It's been a good truck, though. I mean, it really has. I mean, it's lasted 15 years.
Will
So
it be replaced or?
it will be replaced, yes. That's what we're trying to do right here is replace it with one, yes. So
What's the cost for what we're looking to replace it with?
230, somewhere around there, I believe is what it'll be. Maybe 180 on a rear loader. What is it, Mike? Do you remember? About 180 or 190. 180 or 190 on a rear loader. The armed ones are a little over 230 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it in this year's budget?
Yes.
For the
Yes.
new one?
Yes. Yes, it is.
All right.
To approve 2017-24, resolution 2017-24. I make a motion that we approve this resolution.
I'll second that.
And I'll second it, and second it again.
Thank you.
I don't know exactly what you said, but I think there was a motion to approve resolution 2017-24. Is there a discussion on that motion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, say no. Motion passes.
Public speaking skills.
Next item on the agenda is resolution number 2017-25. Madam City Clerk, if you'd read that by title only.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Maumelle, Pulaski County, Arkansas, resolution number 2017-25, a resolution certifying to the Pulaski County, Arkansas County Clerk the rates of taxation to be levied by the City of Maumelle on taxable real and personal property within the City of Maumelle, Arkansas for the tax year 2017 and for other purposes.
Okay, this is something that we have to do every year by October the 31st. We have to certify it to the quorum court so that they can approve it. There's no increase in taxes. This is exactly what it was last year, and you can even see that there's an ordinance, I believe it's an ordinance from the county that's been attached that shows what our millage rate is. They call it the appropriation ordinance. So it's the one that they passed last November in order to certify our taxes. So you were always 1 year behind. So it says for the tax year 2017, but they're collected in 2018. So, but it's standard process. Councilmember Mosley?
As I understand this, if we don't do this, then there's they cannot collect it for us for that year. And I've read where, I think it was Cave Springs, Arkansas, that forgot to do that 1 year, and they're having to refund some money.
Yeah, you've got to take this action in order to allow the collector to collect that funds. That is I wasn't aware that somebody failed to do it, but man, that could be.
I read that. I think that was the case.
I know 1 year we delayed it by 1 month, or well, we went into November and still got it on the quorum court agenda, and we did it because we had a sales tax, or I mean, not a sales tax, but our bond election was going forward, and so it was whether to extend the 6.6 mills, and we didn't know what the rate was going to be until after that election was held. So they allowed us to put it on later than October 31. But the way the rules read, you're supposed to have it to them by October 31, and then they'll take it up in November.
Motion to approve resolution number 2017-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2017-25. Is there a discussion on that motion? Okay, if not, all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, say no. Motion passes. Okay, next item is mayor's comments. We've got the budgets here to pass out, and they do have names on them, so you can keep them straight. So I just got to take a couple out here real quick. So they've got your name at the bottom, so take the one that's got your name on it, please. Don't take somebody else's. Just to be honorary or whatever. This is a work in progress. I was still making changes after lunch today to it. It's not an excuse, but I've looked at it so much, it's hard for me to catch mistakes in it now because I've been preparing it kind of from day one. Ms. Vega's been tied up with the audit, so I've kind of put this budget together again for the second year in a row. So bear with me because there may be some changes made before our first meeting, but you can look over it. I mean, we got more expenses than we have revenue again. We always have that. But that's why we need to meet and talk about it. And the department heads will be at the first two meetings, so they will be there on the 24th of October and the 30th of October to present their budgets. And so basically, I pretty well went along with their requests, and then we can talk about it and discuss it at the budget meetings. And I told them to be ready to explain their, if they've got additions and things like that, they need to be ready to explain that. So we look forward to the budget workshops. We will feed you again. So, we'll have some meals here. And I do think that the idea of trying to end them by 8 o'clock, around 8 o'clock is good because we start losing people and things like that. But some nights we may have to go longer, or we may have to add another meeting in there. But, so please try at your best to attend the meetings if possible. I know we've got schedules that people have to travel and things like that, but if at all possible, and then with Councilmember Anderson's medical issue, he may or may not be able to attend some of those either, so maybe a little while before he's there. So just be mindful of that. And then wanted to mention, if you're available, Wednesday afternoon at 1:30, the Maumelle Charter High School will have their grand opening. So you had an invitation in your council packet. I think that'll be a very good event. Unfortunately, I have a meeting and I will miss it, so I won't be able to attend that grand opening. So I'd love for someone, if they could represent us from the city, that'd be great. Next item is Planning Commission report. That's done after the Planning Commission meeting, so that'll be at our next meeting. Do we have any council member comments? Councilmember Mosley?
Yeah, I've been doing a little, I got two things here. One is I've been doing a little thinking about the gentleman that came last week, Adam Davies, about the boat thing. And I was going to ask Alderman Saunders if he had a chance to, he was going to check into a couple of things on that, but he's not here, so I won't really get into that. But I would ask what is kind of the procedure we do on the RVs? Is it the same type of rule, except we do allow? How are RVs treated differently from the boats?
Well, they're all the same. It's a trailer. So a trailer is a trailer is a trailer. So it doesn't matter if it's an RV. It doesn't matter if it's a boat. It doesn't matter if it's a utility trailer. It doesn't matter. Now, what I mentioned the other night is we kind of give them a little grace to come home and load something up, but there is no provision in the rules. I mean, it's basically you cannot park it in your driveway. In front of the building line, I believe. Are you looking at the correct terminology?
It's more than that, but it's in front of the building line. It has to be behind the building line. It has to be behind the front portion of the house, are the two big ones.
Okay.
It has to be behind both.
Has to be behind both. Okay.
So those are basically kind of this. They're treated kind of the same. Yeah, it'd be nice if we could figure a way to just kind of let them come in and load their boats or something like that. But I see the problem. There may be somebody that uses their boat every day, so the boat's out there every day being loaded. So,
And that's the problem, is trying to be fair to somebody that may just need to come in for a couple of hours, as opposed to someone that's going to be there 12 hours a day or whatever.
I've had people say they like to bring their boat in the night and they load it up, and the next morning they take off. And
Well, they can put it in their garage. That just means their car has to sit outside for the night. I mean, that's,
the boat may be a little large. I don't know.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Okay. The other thing I was going to talk about was, I don't know how many folks saw in I just wanted to point this out. This hasn't anything to do with us. But it talks about the city of Farmington, Arkansas, which is just outside of Fayetteville. It has a population of 6,800. And they recently have found that they have had some embezzlement going on for $1.5 million over about 7 years. And so these things can happen, and it was as a result of a lack of separation of duties. The finance director was also the court clerk, and they were not recording fines and that sort of thing. And he was basically, it sounds like, taking money home as opposed to depositing into the city's accounts. And there were some other expenses and that sort of thing. But all they had noticed was that the traffic ticket revenue had gone down, and they acknowledged that they were writing fewer tickets. But over 7 years, it was $1.5 million.
That was brought up at the municipal league budget seminar that we were that particular case.
Did you just go like last week or something like that?
Last month. Yeah, last month.
Okay, that was probably an interesting discussion there. And they talked about how they'd had outside auditors and I think the outside auditor from the article here, I gleaned that they may have finally caught it, and so they brought in legislative audit to check it out. But anyway, it's one of those things can happen, so everybody has to stay alert. But that's the only reason I'm bringing it up. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Vapurzian?
I just want to mention, I got the City and Town magazine yesterday. I don't know if you all had a chance to look through it, but there was a really nice article in there about North Little Rock's new inclusive playground at Burns Park. It was really nice. Had a lot of good information in there. Just wanted to, if you hadn't had a chance to look at it, it's pretty neat.
My picture's in there.
And Councilmember Holt's picture is also in the magazine.
Well, so is Councilmember Timmons and City Clerk Tina Timmons as well. Mark was giving a lecture, and I said, surely to God that's not me. And he said, yeah, it is.
Because y'all were sitting up front.
They were sitting behind me. That's the only reason I recognized them. Well, it's got to be me
Those
then.
back row Baptists didn't make the magazine.
Councilmember Williams?
Just wanted to let everybody know that Thursday, we're still on for the all-inclusive playground committee meeting at 6 o'clock at Mr. Rayburn's office at the community center.
Oh, yeah.
So, and everybody's welcome to come. We're moving on down the road with it, and we didn't want to, we have some momentum, we didn't want to stop. And Councilmember Anderson called me to make sure that we weren't going to halt or slow down on the momentum there, so we're still good to go.
Okay. Any other council members' comments? Mr. City Attorney?
No, sir.
Madam City Clerk?
No, sir.
All right. There being no other business to come before the council, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. I heard a motion. Do I hear a second? All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, say no. Meeting is adjourned.
The efficiency of this.
Free.
6:26.